Hi, this is part three of the lecture for chapter 19. We're going to talk about asset valuation. Then what we're going to do is talk about efficient market theory. And lastly, we're going to talk about market irrationality. Okay, so asset valuation. Okay, this is your one small introduction to one way of valuing stocks. What fancy people at Wall Street do, to value stocks. What they do is they do something called the fundamental analysis. They study a company's accounting statement and the future prospects to determine its value. This is one way to determine a stock's value. So the value of a share is equal to the present value of any dividends the stocks will pay plus the present value of the price you get when you sell the shares. So what does that basically mean is, to me, the value of a stock is equal to the present value of all of the money I will make from owning this stock, which includes all the dividends, basically money the stock pays to the owner of the stock. So Nvidia or AT&T, these companies, some of them pay dividends every year or every quarter. They say, "Oh, you own shares in Nvidia, so we're going to give you $1 per share," something like that. Okay, or a nickel per share or something. And this part here is when I sell the stock 5 years later or 1 year later. If I sell it for more, I made a gain. I bought it for 100, I sell it for 200. I made a gain of $100. Okay. So the present value of the dividend payments plus the present value of the price when I sell it, that is the value of the share. Okay. All right. So the problem with this analysis is where a lot of the fancy investment banks, how they make money is their secret recipe or their secret, analysis files they use to value the expected dividend payments in the future and what the price they think will be in the future. Okay. We don't know that. No one knows that. So what Deutsche Bank and Goldman and all of these fancy investment banks do is they estimate it with their fancy models. And all of them has slightly different models. The better their model, the more money the company will make. Okay. So if the current price is less than the value meaning the stream of potential future income, the present value of which, right? Then this week say the stock is undervalued. You should buy a share. Currently, the price is 10. The value of of these, present value of all of the stuff that you're going to get in the future, today's value is 100. Wow, buy the stock. A stock is considered overvalued if the current price of the stock is greater than the value of the stream of future expected income. And we say it's fair valued when the price is equal to this value. Okay. And that's basically a very simple way of showing you of how stocks are valued. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Using fundamental analysis to pick stock, do all the necessary research yourself, rely on advice for Wall Street analysts. And if you can't do any of this, and it is really hard, okay, it is very hard, buy a mutual fund. Because these mutual funds and uh, managers, they do all this stuff themselves. Okay, they do all this stuff for you. I mean, you don't have to think about that. You just buy shares in a mutual fund and just don't worry. They're gonna do their best analysis on your behalf. All right. Next, let's talk about an efficient market hypothesis. What is the efficient market hypothesis? This is the theory that asset prices, so price of NVIDIA today or this minute, or price of Tesla this minute, okay, reflects all publicly available information about the company. Okay, it's all incorporated in already. Okay, and then you'll see when a news comes out, if it's good news, the stock price should jump up to incorporate the good news. If it's bad news, the stock price will jump down. Okay, each company listed on a major stock exchange is followed closely by many analysts, many of these mutual fund analysts. Okay, and the equilibrium of supply and demand sets the market price. Okay, and we say the stock market exhibits informational efficiency. All the information out there, we all get it fairly quickly. All the stock market traders, all these money managers and mutual fund managers, they have access to this information fairly quickly. So when the information comes out, yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but you will see you'll see the market price jump up, go up a little, go down a little, go up a little more, and eventually it'll settle down. Maybe it takes a day, maybe it takes an hour, but it'll eventually settle down after the new information is absorbed by everybody in the market. Okay. All right. The implication of an efficient market hypothesis is that the stock price should follow what's called a random walk. Okay, a random walk is the path of a variable whose change are almost impossible to predict. It's pretty impossible to predict. Stock prices are random because we cannot predict it because we there's no information out there for us. All the information is incorporated in. The change in the stock price are impossible to predict from the available information because it's all incorporated in. Okay, if the prices reflect all available information, no stock is a better buy than any other. So the best you can do is buy a diversified portfolio. And that's what Warren Buffett basically said. Warren Buffett says that no one, and most economists say the same thing. We really cannot beat the stock market. The best you can do is invest in the market itself. Buy S&P 500. Classic example is VO, Vanguard's version of S&P 500, or SPDR, SPY. S&P's, I forgot who makes that one. I'm sorry, top of my head. But there are these funds out there that just mimic the S&P 500, the top 500 companies in the world, in the United States. Just buy that. Okay? Most economists think that we cannot beat the market. Lastly, there's something called market irrationality. Okay, remember the efficient market hypothesis assumes that people buying and selling stocks, okay, are rational and process the information about the stock's underlying value. We assume everybody is rational and are educated and they buy these stocks and sell these stocks given the information at hand. Many believe that stock price movements are partially psychological in nature, meaning, we are human. Okay, investors are also human, and sometimes we just do things that are maybe irrational. Right? Kane said something: stock prices are driven by animal spirit. Sometimes we have this irrational wave. All are collectively believe are waves of pessimism or optimism. We all kind of are sheeps. And when enough of us think the market's going to be bad, we all think the market's going to be bad. And we kind of tank the market because we all get scared. Or when we think the market's going to be good, enough of us, all of us think the market is going to be good, and we build up the price. Okay. Alan Greenspan is a Federal Reserve chair back in the 90s. He said the stock market boom. In the 1990s, the stock market boom. I'm sorry, Alan Greenspan was a federal chair, and he said in the 1990s stock market boom was due to irrational exuberance, meaning we all kind of built up the market irrationally. So when the price of an asset is above its fundamental value, we say the market is experiencing something called a speculative bubble. You might hear that in the news, okay? In 2000, right now, 2024, 2025, people talk about the AI bubble. People think right now, when I'm speaking, like recording this, that the stock market is experiencing a speculative bubble, meaning the price is inflated above the fundamental value that we discussed above. Okay. Based on these AI stocks, we're overhyping, quote unquote, overhyping the value of AI stocks. Okay. The speculative bubble, price of an asset rises above what appears to be the fundamental value. Remember what the fundamental value is. Okay, the value associated, okay, with the stream of income that you expect to get, the present value of which, okay? Possibility of a speculative bubbles, well, the value of the stock to a stockholder depends on stream of dividend payment and final sales price. Remember, this is what I said. This is the fundamental value, right? And sometimes people think it's higher than that. They just get irrational and they hype up the value of OpenAI and NVIDIA and whatnot. And they think these companies are worth more than the stream of dividend payments and the final sale price. Okay? So what is market irrationality? It's the movement in stock price is hard to explain. News that alters rational valuation. Okay? And this happens a lot. We had the internet bubble back in the 2000s. We had the housing market crash in 2008, 9. People think right now we're in an AI bubble. So this happens. People don't learn from mistakes in the past. We're done with our lecture on chapter 19. Have a good day.